All right. Saturday night stream. We'll see who comes on tonight, who pops in here. See how this thing's working. Nobody yet. So we'll just hop over here and we will set up a couple things. There we go. Somebody's here. Big Mike. What up, Mike? All right. Let's set up a few things. Set up a few thingy things. Baseball Savant. We got to get on track with what is happening at the moment. Thank you, CP. Appreciate that. Also, big shout out to everybody who watched the Jonah Tong video. That's by far the most views I've ever got. I think it's up to, I don't know, let me check my YouTube studio numbers. It was up to 6.3K, which is awesome. So I really appreciate that. The subscribers have gone up. This is good. I'm just going to keep pumping it out. So we'll see. Yeah, I know. Best salad ever, right, Brett? Those heirlooms were next level tonight. Sorry I came on a little late. If you saw my Instagram post, the kid did not want to go to bed. The kid did not want to go to bed tonight. I appreciate that. We'll see what we can get into tonight. Anybody in the chat have any knowledge of anything that's going on out there in baseball right now? Looks like it's a 1-0 game in the Yankee game. 1-1 Atlanta Philly. I know Sale started that game. Let's see the current box on that. Sale 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. The only run is a homer. Who hit the homer? Weston Wilson clipped him. Ooh, double story time? Is that true? Pirates, Reds, Sox. Oh, I think that you meant actually telling stories to my kid. Yeah, we did a whole bunch of stories. Dustin May's struggles. You know what? That's a good place to start. I know he lost today to the Pirates. So let's watch a little bit of Dustin May and what went wrong. How the runs were scored. First inning looks like...
Rattles that one. Bregman with a nice scoop and spin and gets it. Oh, it rolls
okay, so this just reaches on an error here. Then we got a single. What is it? What does he hit? A changeup? His changeup's got crazy drop on it. Definitely throwing a kick. I'm just not adjusted yet to seeing guys with -7s on their changeup. Like I've seen like a lot of guys with below -5 this year, and it's all these kick changeups. I think I'm just not used to seeing that on the iPad. Like if I see -1, I'm like, ooh, that's a good drop. -7's insane. So he's always going to struggle versus lefties relative to righties because of his movement profile. Like in this at bat, he's throwing sinkers right on left.
Brings up Horwitz. Looking to bunt, fouls it
away. What else does he give him? He gives him a sweeper. You know, I tried to play this game for a while. It takes really good command to throw like the sinker sweeper approach to a lefty over and over again. You're just not going to win that often. And, you know, the changeup has the same shape as the sinker. It's just more droppy. So he sees the ball running away from him. He's already kind of unplanned to do that. So that's kind of what happens here. He's able to stay. They're able to stay on the changeup better than if you also had to protect like a super hoppy four seam. Then he goes walk, so he can't be walking people on top of that. He gets the 3-2. Misses arm side. So he's really victimized a little bit by the error right away, but then immediately not able to just like dial it in right away. He does get 3 quick outs to get out of this first inning with only 1 run, I think. See, but right on right, he's not going to have any problem. The sinker in's going to play all day. You see that? He eats up Tommy Pham with that. Nice play by Bregman there with the bare hand. McCutcheon right on right. He's going to get him with the sweeper. I mean, the sinker sweeper right on right combo. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty simple game that's going to work over and over and over again. All you have to do is execute. But to lefties, it's a lot tougher. So faces all the three, lefties he faces in this inning. All reach. Actually, the two lefties he faces this inning, it's a single and a walk. Triolo got on by accident. So all four righties he faces in this inning gets out easily. Issue with this as a starter is they're gonna stack the lineup left-handed most of the time. All right, so here's actually a strikeout of O'Neill Cruz. Gets him with the four seam. So you got to implement the four seam a little bit, in my mind, if you're going to be like a heavy sinker guy. This four seam up is huge, but I guess the issue is not going to be putting guys away. This is like beautiful. He just tries to live above this line. He sets the floor, and he just got to be above it. And he gets it up there. And O'Neill Cruz, for as talented as he is, he swings and misses an awful lot. An awful lot. So that's the advantage of 94, but you got to get to the 0-2 count. And to get to the 0-2 count, you got to throw some pitches over the plate. And if you're comfortable throwing sinker sweeper, I mean, I just think your quality of contact's not going to be what you want it to be right on left. So that's a little bit of an issue. All right, he's going to get Joey Bart here. So he's pretty much dominated the first 5 righties he's faced now. 30. He's got a great spin rate on that. Really good break on that pitch. And then he's also going to get... Wow, actually, I skipped way ahead on that, didn't I? He's also going to get Kiner Falefa. So first time through the order, he shredded the righties. And the 2 lefties that he faced was walk hit. So for some reason, the Pirates have all these righties in the lineup for some reason. It's actually amazing he didn't pitch great in this game, considering the matchup. So let's see what happens here. So here's a sinker into Triolo. Beats him to the spot. Hits it hard through the 6 hole. That's okay. He's trying to go right in there. Then he gets Horowitz. This is the first lefty he gets. He punches out.
5 walk-offs in those things didn't happen.
Very good sweeper there. Very good location there. Then he's going to walk Reynolds again. And then he's back to his righties again. Tommy Pham, sinker in the first time.
He's a good ball player.
Sinker down the second time. Second ball that he chopped. Tommy Pham, very level, very flat swing. If you can get underneath his barrel, he chops a lot of balls. So that's a good approach for him. That's why I like to go sinkers or right changeups to Tommy. Throw enough sliders to get him to sit on it, and then try to get him out with those other pitches. And then, okay, McCutcheon's going to get a hit.
He's the DH today. Broke the bat.
You know, it's funny. He got a similar hit against Tolley yesterday. Or maybe it was not Tolley. Maybe it was Weissert. But he he blocked off a ball and floated in. What's up? I gave it to you. I literally handed it to you.
To me?
Yeah, to you.
Are you sure?
At the counter. Is it, or it's on that table, but I don't think it is.
I don't think you handed it.
No, I did. Remember you said I'll hold that.
Yeah, I remember that. I just don't know where it went after that.
Oh my god. Where was I? So yeah, he blocked the ball off, but he's able to like flick it out into no man's land for hits. That's 2 of those in 2 days. Nick Gonzalez
made his major league debut in late June. He'll fly this one into right.
Yeah, he's not having a hard time with the righties. When does it go off the rails for him in this game? Besides the first inning. So fly out. Here's a single against a righty. It's a sweeper. I mean, he's pretty much sinker sweeper versus righties. This is a lucky hit. So that approach is still working. They're not really onto him, the righties. But then he hits a guy. It's Triolo here. That's a really bad miss.
93 miles an hour got away, and
like a shockingly bad miss. I mean, he just pulls off way too early and the hand's left behind. Obviously, he hated it. But then he doesn't make it any better with a 9-pitch walk to Horowitz. So this at-bat probably breaks him.
And he walks him.
I kind of want to watch this whole at-bat because this at-bat probably breaks him. All right, let's see.
Horowitz, a base hit and a strikeout for the
arm side sweeper. Really bad rep. Now he's going to go back to a cutter attempt.
Made with a 1-0 and off the plate.
Bad rep again. Now he's kind of in a bad spot. He's going to force a sinker in here. Wow, got over the barrel there? Horowitz expecting more drop than that. Interesting. Now Cutter. This is, to me, this is where I would give it up on this pitch. He gets it in. He gets it in. Good spot with this. This height is the key. Guy can't extend their arms to that middle height. Sweeper off that. Pretty good pitch, but you can see he's dialed in on the very bottom of the zone. Horowitz is scooping heavy in this at bat. So yeah, you try the four seam. I get that. Misses with it though. Now you're 3-2. So now you got to throw a pitch you have confidence in. Goes back to the sinker. Confused how these aren't getting hit, but they're not. Sinker again. Gets away with it again, and then he does finally walk him on the cutter. So ultimately, didn't really have the repertoire to put away Horowitz here. So makes a bad situation worse with a walk. And then here are the big 2 hits of the game. Reynolds. So Reynolds has 2 walks, and now he's gonna get the big hit.
Dustin May with a 1-0. Swinging a shot to right field. That'll bring in Connor Falefa. He will score. Triolo coming
Yeah, a little
right
sweeper.
Middle
in. What was the first pitch? 4 seam. So no command really of the 4 seam or anything really to the arm side in this game is really hurting him. And then this sweeper, you know, bad location. It's a bad matchup for him. Reynolds is a good hitter, good swing, and then Tommy Pham, who we got twice on sinkers, he decides to switch it up and go sweeper this time, and leaves one down in. And that's a perfect pitch for Tommy to smash. So I think in this inning, you know, he gets himself in trouble with the hit batter. Really, the leadoff hit is absurd, the Connor Falefa hit, but then he gets himself in trouble with the hit batter and the walk where he couldn't put away a lefty. And then I think really poor pitch choice to Tommy Pham there. He hadn't proven that he could hit your sinker in yet, anything but in the ground. And you had first and third. You needed a grounder there, so I think that's bad. He does get a double play out of McCutcheon. Let's see how he gets that.
Cora on the horn. Here's the 1-1.
Sinker middle down. See there, he gets his chopper. Nice play by Bregman. And then he gets a flyout, so he's seemingly out of the woods, but then he comes out and he gets clipped by O'Neill Cruz.
Get back to work, boys. Apparently, swinging a drive out
you know,
left
just
center.
middle. And O'Neill Cruz, you know, his metrics are insane. I mean, 114.2 at 25. When he hits it, it's ridiculous. He just doesn't hit it that often. And you know, it's his center cut. Now he's probably thinking, why am I trying to throw 4 seamers? I don't have a good 4 seam. And the reason why he'd be self-conscious about his 4 seam is this 11.5 number. You want a higher number approaching 20 to throw a 4 seam and be proud of it on the TrackMan. 11.5 is not really cutting it. You can work with a low slot in 13, 14, but 11.5 not cutting it. So he knows that, and then he's like, why am I even throwing this pitch? But it's because you can't just, you know, force feed sinkers in there forever. So what does it come down to? It's not your stuff, it's your execution, once again. And I'm not seeing great execution in this game. A couple key misses, like the hit batter, really cost him. And the inability to put away the lefties. Most every lefty out he got in this game, he didn't get many of them. Who did he get out that were lefties? Horowitz, he got out 1 time. Reynolds, he got out no times. O'Neill Cruz, he got out twice. One was a fly out. Let me see what happened on this fly out.
0-1 to Cruz. Off the end of the bat, flies that one to right.
Kind of got him to swing at a bad pitch. So that's it. Like, that's the only lefties. I think they're going to, honestly, probably teams are going to pack more lefties in against him. Come on, internet. Come on, internet. Dustin May. Let's look at the pitch mix this season versus each batter. So we got to really look versus lefties. Handedness, left. So he's sweeper sinker. I mean, I tried this approach. You got to be really, really accurate with your backdoor sweepers and your front door sinkers and keeping the ball out of that middle down, middle away area a lot when it's too exposed in the zone and the guy's got the scoopy swing. Fastball away is not going to play for you unless it's perfect. whether at the top or at the bottom. So it's just tough as a sinker. Four seam gives you more room, but again, he doesn't have a great four seam. Although interestingly, they're hitting 180 off it this year, the lefties. So there's that. Sweeper, you know, it looks like, and this is the thing about the sweeper, it always felt like a sitting duck to me to throw it to lefties a lot of times in the zone, but the numbers never reflected that. And it's the same here. 191, batting average, 162 expected batting average. They're saying throw your sweeper in the zone. So his formula versus lefties should be sweepers early in the zone, sweepers and probably four seamers when he has to go in zone. And then once he gets to two strikes, you just kind of have to read it. But I think sweepers and four seamers versus lefties gives him his best shot. The cutter, it's basically saying never throw it. I wouldn't throw it either based off these numbers. Changeup had good shape, but he didn't show good command of it, so it's kind of out. So anyway, there's my Dustin May quick thoughts. Teams, I'm surprised teams don't put, like the Pirates, I guess they don't have the capability, but some teams are going to put a lot of lefties in there, and it's going to be tricky on them. And really, you know, this is a big concern too. 9.2% walks. You can't do that when you're only getting 43 percentile strikeout rate. So, I mean, I get it. He's got a lot of arm talent, certainly. He throws some outlier pitches. His sweeper is really nasty. And his sinker, we all know when he came up, was nasty. And, you know, let's be honest, he hasn't pitched a lot in a while. This could be one of those years where he's not, you know, he's still finding it again. He's have to rediscover who he is. But right now it's bad news for the Red Sox. They're probably not going to use him too much more depending on the matchup. I know you love the arm, but they have other guys right now. And I don't know. It's going to be interesting. They're going to have to match him up smartly. He could also help him in the bullpen. Like right on right, pretty devastating, I bet. Still, okay, we got something in the chat here. I think the key for the Sox here is short term leads. Hold on, I can't read all that. Short term and leads into the pitching concerns. Remainder of the year, flex poorly on the front office decisions at the deadline. I don't know. It's like the front office for the Red Sox kind of like stepped in shit, like in a good way. Like they had a crisis situation on their hands with the Devers situation. They had decided to act on it, which I did not expect. But Breslow decided to act on it. They sent him to San Fran. I thought, man, like that lineup is not the same without him. But they found a way to be very, very good offensively. Roman Anthony, huge impact guy, obviously. And then, you know, some of the moves, like the guys that got for him, like Hicks and Harrison, like we haven't even seen Harrison yet, I don't think, on the Sox. And Hicks has been really not good since he's been there. So maybe you could have plucked some different guys in that scenario. Dustin May, I get it. I get the thought. But it's hard to like find lightning in a bottle necessarily the last month of a year. I don't know. It's tricky. He really like he threw 48 innings in 2023 and 30 in 2022, and he's at 129.1 this year. Like he's likely cashed. He's likely tired. That's my read on that situation. All right, let's jump around somewhere else. I saw something in the chat earlier about Schlittler returning for the sixth inning of taking a comebacker off the right forearm. Reporting live from live right field. I love that. You know what? Let's go see if we can find the line drive at his arm. Yankees, White Sox. Schlittler. So it was in the fifth inning. Here it is. Brooks Baldwin.
Love.
So here's the
2-2 to Baldwin. Right back off the pitcher.
Nice play. Gets him out.
With the throw to first. Did that hit glove or body?
We got a couple camera angles we can lock in on here. Looks like in the hip or the forearm belt area. Maybe a double whammy. Maybe we see it better from here. He was not ready to catch this ball. That's kind of how I was. You just turn and you have one glove. You're trying to protect your face basically, and then you let your body turn. But yeah, direct hit to either the belt or the little bit on the forearm maybe. It just drops like nothing, and he's able to recover it and throw him out. So yeah, he seems fine because I see in the 6th inning he goes strikeout, strikeout to start the 6th, so he's fine. Also, he had a strikeout right after that. He did give up a hit to the sock man.
Got movement to go with it. It can
My
be
guy Mike
overwhelming.
Talkman. He's just a good hitter. Surprised he didn't get traded. Surprised this guy didn't get traded.
Waved in
Tough at bat, man. You don't want to face Talkman with anything on the line. It's super annoying. He doesn't really chase. He can hit a lot of different pitch types. He's annoying. He's an annoying player. I don't really know if I should watch all of that yet. Let's see. So still 1-1 in that game in the 6th. Atlanta took the lead 2-1 in the 10th in their game. Mets game was crazy today. Miami with that win. What happened in this game? Braves just took the lead, so let's go see how. Atlanta, Philly. Yeah, Strom's in here in the top of the 10th. And this hit brings in the go-ahead run.
Keeps the runner from
with
moving.
the
Opposite way, there's a base hit.
designated runner or whatever.
The Braves the lead. And Alvarez will hold up
Holds it there, though,
first.
so it's kind of
RBI
like a...
and it's now a
kind of normal. Normal nothing. They have a good shot to come back. Right now it looks like... Oh, they did come back. Marsh called out on strikes. Turner singles on ground ball to right fielder. Right fielder Ronald Acuna Jr. Alec Boehm scores. Nick Castellano scores. Brian Stott's at third. I think that's game over.
It's gonna hit.
Yeah, somehow they have bases loaded.
Dobbs ready, so
Oh, I guess
Turner,
they started
pitch.
with a different pitcher.
Ground ball right
Yeah,
side,
so the
into
Phillies
right
just walk
field,
off the
base
Braves
hit.
on that hit
Boehm
right there.
scores. Here comes Castellanos.
Trey Turner
The
slashing
throw,
one through the right
Boehm,
side.
time!
So, big win for the Phillies. What happened before that? Stratton was in. Yeah, Stratton was in, and he goes hit by pitch. He hits Castellanos on the first pitch.
Gotta be careful here if you're Boehm.
Oh,
And Nick gets hit by that pitch.
I don't feel good.
And that'll put runners on first and second.
So he hits Castellanos on the first pitch, and then he gets Bader out, and then he gives up this hit.
Floated out to
Oh my
right
God.
field. Here comes Acuna on the run.
Swung like
Still
he hit it
coming
into
in.
the second
He
deck,
will
and it was a
get
blooper.
there.
Acuna
They'll
must have
knock it
broke
down.
back
They're
on
gonna
this.
hold Boehm.
How did he not
And
catch
the
this ball?
bases
The ball's in the
are
air for an
loaded.
hour.
Kuna, he deeped
Let me
everybody.
look at the high home. Can we see Ronald's jump off this ball? Oh, kind of a bad route. Went over first. Didn't take a direct route to this ball at all. You can actually see it way down here on the this thing I'm moving in and out. If you look at it, he kind of moves over and then circles towards the spot. He doesn't go straight. Anyway, let's watch him because you can kind of see it. He's here. Ball's hit. Goes over, then he kind of pivots in. Doesn't dive or anything. Whatever, it's a hit though. And that's when they got in deep doo-doo, and then the Braves brought in Dodd into one of those situations where you're just screwed. He actually does strike out Marsh.
And a call.
Gets him with a
Strike
front
three.
door cutter.
Everything away.
So now he's one out away, and then he gives up the hit to Trey Turner. 3-pitch at bat. I guess we'll watch the whole
Hit him.
thing. See how Trey wins it.
So now Trey
Cutter.
Turner pops it
Ooh,
foul.
just
Off to
under
the
it.
right.
Pops
Olsen's
it
giving
foul.
it a look.
How hoppy was that cutter?
Hit him.
Only 6. Interesting. And fastball.
Just pull it right over the
That goes
third
95.
baseman.
Who doesn't? Late on that.
First fastball he's throwing.
Then he goes another fastball, and Trey just decides
Dobbs ready,
to
so's Turner,
be
the
more
pitch.
direct here.
Ground ball right side into right field, a
100%.
base hit. Boehm scores. Here comes Castillo.
Really good adjustment. Good two-strike approach. Look at the base is just wide. The legs go basically nowhere, and he just throws the hands. Just watch this toe right here. It just kind of pivots, and that's it. Pivot, wham. And I love this view of the crowd. So sick. All right, so Phillies win that game. That's pretty cool to look at. What's up, everybody that's here? Wells go ahead home run just now. 2-1 Yankees. Let's watch that. Yankees, White Sox. And it was Austin Wells. Hey, we are so early, we can't even see the broadcast view. Here's the center field view. Ooh, fastball. 105.8 at 24. Pitch looked kind of like it was up in the zone. Just doesn't have as much hop though. 15-4. The more you watch the iPad, the more you understand the vert stuff. Like 15-4, it's fine, but it's not enough to get over the barrel consistently. And so that's why Austin Wells can hit a high home run on a 15-4. This ball's got 18 vert on it and it's 3 inches higher. Different story. Ball's popped up. But yeah, this is what happens. This is how it goes in the game. Like, you can't see the broadcast view until the inning's over. So we're kind of stuck with this. You can look at the high home, kind of see where it went. Right center, 3 or 4 rows out. All right. So I want to rewind to yesterday's Mets game for a second, the Jonathan game. So this was Marlinos and Metropolitanos. And at the end of this game, oh wait, actually clicked on today. Don't want to click on today, really. It was kind of a mess. Marlins, Mets, it's yesterday's game. And so Carlos decides, I saw this question in the chat. Carlos decides to put in Terrens. Now they're winning 19-5 at this moment. That's a 14-run lead. And he's going to close out the game on a winning side with a position player in an attempt to not use another pitcher. Now, the only other team I've seen do this is the Dodgers, and they did it successfully a few times. Actually, it was Russell Martin a lot of times would pitch the 9th inning. I even think Pujols might have did this one time when he was on the Dodgers, which is crazy. But they used to successfully do it, and they would be bold enough to do it up 8, you know? But it immediately goes kind of haywire on Mendoza's plan. Luis walks the first guy. Then he gets an out. It's funny looking at the stats on these. He's got an incredible vertical break on his 56-mile-an-hour fastball. Anyway, so he gets it out there. But then gives up back-to-back jacks. Otto Lopez.
Terrens has a good arm. Oh, that one's hit deep
See ya.
to left off the bat of Lopez.
Kind of pimps it too. And then Liam Hicks. I don't know. I don't get why this is fair. Like, why do they get to face an inferior competition? Like, we don't get to pitch against pitchers anymore.
Toward the pole, and that's gone. So back-to-back home runs for the Marlins. For Hicks,
19.9, so whatever. But that's the second. Then he gives up a hit to Norby, so...
And Norby lines one.
Actually almost gets him out, but doesn't. And then Troy Johnston hits a triple.
And this one's hit out to right. This should be playable for Taylor. But it's
and now he's got Stanek going crazy in the bullpen, getting ready.
Norby to third.
And I say all this to say, it's still a 10-run lead at this point. You didn't have to force this guy into the game. Now they do. They bring in Ryan Stanek into this game. And he strikes out both batters he faces, restoring order, and the Mets do win this game.
And he strikes him out 3 pitches.
But I also feel like...
And the Marlins are down to their final.
Like, now Stanek wasn't available today. Peterson ends up being in big doo-doo like in the second inning, and they have to stick with him because they have less pitchers. And I don't know, like, this just backfired. I think if you're committed to it, you got to be committed to it all the way until pretty much Edwin warming up. Like, I don't think I would have done this. I think I would have just left them out there and said, you're going to get 2 outs before they score 10 runs. And I bet he would have. So it was just interesting how they dipped their toe into this strategy. In a way, it's kind of disrespectful to the other team. In a way, you know, to close out a win with a position player on the mound. I wonder what people think about that. Just pitch Stanek if you were willing to pitch Stanek. Anyway, I find that to be fascinating. I wonder what other people think about that. We do have a question in the chat. Does the pitcher's arm angle affect how fastball's vertical looks to the batter? And yes, Alex, this is a key point when we look at these metrics. Like, I remember when TrackMan first came out and this language of baseball talking vertical and horizontal movement started to become, everywhere. And at the time, we really weren't taking the entire picture into account. And what I mean by that is we were just looking at a guy with 20 vertical break or 15 vertical break or 10 vertical break on a fastball and just saying it's good or it's bad no matter what. But the arm angle, as you mentioned in the question, is a very key consideration for how this ball will actually look to the batter. So if you're already throwing from a high angle, the ball's going to look very flat coming in, but it's not going to look as uphill. And there's actually a stat for this, and it's called VAA, or vertical approach angle. And what we found out is that vertical approach angle is actually more important than induced vertical break. So, for example, you could throw from a very low slot, a la Craig Kimbrell or Edwin Diaz. Let me show you somebody like that. So we'll go to the Mets. I know Diaz pitched today. I know it didn't go well, but it doesn't really matter because it still gives you the effect that I'm trying to show. So we'll show Edwin. This is a 97-mile-an-hour fastball from Edwin. Now, Edwin throws from a very low release height. You can see his arm sweeps out almost, not quite sidearm, but pretty close. So I think his release height was like 5'2" or 5'3". So that's well below league average. And therefore, even though his vertical break on his fastball is only 13.1 inches, which would not be considered elite on its own, the combination of the low release and 13.1 inches of induced vertical break when thrown to the top part of the strike zone creates a very steep upward. Jesus fucking Christ. So here's Edwin. Here's the arm. It's coming out almost sidearm. And as this ball approaches up in the zone, it does it at a steep upward angle despite the 13.1 inches. So the vertical velocity of the ball at the plate matters more than how far it traveled from gravity over the entire path. Yes, correct. The angle at which it crosses the plate is more important than how much it moved relative to gravity on the way to the plate during its path. That is very well said. That is very true. And it's interesting because at first we did not understand this very well. We just got enamored with these vertical numbers, but there's always more to consider. So that's why a guy like Edwin Diaz, his fastball can be super duper elite up in the zone, despite it having a relatively modest amount of vertical break, induced vertical break. So again, it's about release height. Extension is another key factor. The further you're getting closer to the mound, that creates that angle even more steep. The closer you're getting to the plate, so you're reaching out an extra half a foot. You're getting out like a half a foot further closer to the batter than other guys, and on top of that, you're throwing it lower than other guys, and you're upshooting it to the top of the zone. That's going to have a very tough effect on the hitter's ability to get his bat path, in play and hit that ball. Very, very hard to do. And that's what we've kind of learned over the last few years. It's kind of how all these factors come together to make a guy unique or not unique. And not only is there vertical approach angle, there's horizontal approach angle. One of the things that we were looking at yesterday with Peyton Tolley from the Red Sox, the new rookie, is I think his horizontal approach angle is fantastic. What I mean by this is just watch some of these fastballs from where he releases them and how they track towards the plate. Like this one, for example. the angle at which this ball is traveling straight to him is like this. You see that? That is a horizontal approach angle. So obviously the steeper you can be with that, one way or another, makes you more unique, because most people's approach angles are a lot more, run-of-the-mill. They're a lot more, like, I'll give you an example. They're a lot more like this way, maybe a little bit like this, or even sometimes like this if they step open. But those are all very, linear type paths to the plate. And his ball's taking a very non-linear path to the plate and utilizing his extreme outlier HAA, or horizontal approach angle. So that's another reason, another layer of why he is such a good fastball. If you want to put all the layers together, it would be speed, 96.9, horizontal approach angle, extension, 7'4" extension, which is ridiculous and outstanding. And then on top of that, above average vertical break down here at 15.9, above average vertical break, especially from the low slot, which we now know. I saw in an article that he was throwing 5'5" yesterday. He was more 5'7", which is league average when he was at AAA, but he was below league average yesterday. And to be below league average and average above 16 inches of vertical break is very rare, almost never done. So he's doing that on top of having elite extension, on top of having elite horizontal approach angle, on top of having elite velocity. So these all layer together to make Peyton Toll's fastball pretty dang special. If you didn't see it yesterday, I have a whole video breaking down his major league debut. It's on the channel. You can go look at it. It's in the watching series. And speaking of this, I wanted to revisit both of these guys that I made videos on yesterday. Because now some of their stuff has come up, like their pitch movement profiles, and we'll be able to get a look, off of one start, kind of where they rank. So you can see his four seam, which is these red dots up at the top, is slightly less horizontal movement than average, but looks pretty good on vertical movement. Like it's clearing the above average bar, which I said is even more impressive with the low release and the huge extension. Now these green dots, that's the changeup. We've now uncovered that he indeed throws a kick change. That was also in the article I read. And the movement on it is impressive. It's all the way down near the zero line, which is that flat line going from left to right. So anything around there is showing very good drop, especially on a pretty fast pitch, like his changeup, which is averaged 90.1 miles per hour. So very fast pitch, even though it's a changeup. So that's good movement. I did not think he had good command of that pitch, but now we can at least see it's got outlier movement, that kick change. So that's a potential plus pitch if you can wrangle it in. And then the cutter looks like a pretty normal average cutter. The thing I liked about it is the above average velocity. It's about 2 miles an hour faster than the average cutter. So that will help give him a little bit of more margin for error on that pitch. The slider looks like it's kind of in no man's land between a slider and a curveball. That's what I noted in the moment. It comes down to execution with this pitch. Most of the time he's going to tunnel it off of a cutter and try to throw it for chase. It's not really a pitch he wants them to put in play. For that, he's going to lean on that fastball and that cutter. And then eventually, I think if he does develop the changeup the way he wants to, that could make him, go to a very, 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 very high tier very fast. But yeah, I mean, off of one start, the numbers were obviously good. You can see the extension, 7.5. That's in the 99th percentile. So that's a huge factor of why the fastball plays. Arm angle. Do we have arm angle data yet on Mr. Tolley? We do not have arm angle data yet on Mr. Tolley. I think you have to throw a little bit more. So that was him, and I wanted to check in on that. That's basically what it looked like. So glad that matched up. I do think that changeup is intriguing from a shape perspective, and we'll see if he can, fix that command-wise. And then our other guy, Jonah Tong. Now this one jumps off the page right away, and it was crazy because one of the guys in the comments of my YouTube video, on Jonah Tong yesterday said that he thought his fastball had no movement on it. Like it looked flat to him, like it didn't have a lot of movement because they were hitting it. And, you know, I know it's hard to understand this, but you can see the red dots on the top of his movement profile, like, and then you see that checkered red circle. That's where league average is, and he's well above and to the left of that. So his fastball actually has incredible movement, as hard as that is to understand. It's not a ton of side-to-side movement, but it drives like upward at an incredible rate. He averaged 21 inches of induced vertical break. Now he has the extreme high release, so that makes that more possible, but still, nevertheless, that's a special number. And then the changeup, I didn't realize how much more arm side movement it had than the fastball. I guess I should have noticed that in game, but it does. It's significant. It's well over to the right, and to me, that's the great equalizer that he does possess. As long as he can strike that pitch, he's going to be able to get himself back in counts when his fastball command is what it was yesterday, which was mostly he pulled a lot of them. And then the curveball, you know, pairs very well. Probably spin mirrors in terms of top spin versus backspin. Backspin on his fastball and the top spin on his curveball are probably very hard to tell apart to the hitter. And that curveball is also 77 miles an hour. So if you look at the arsenal here of the main three pitches, he goes 95, 85, and for better or worse, 75. It's 77, but that's the idea. Almost a 10-mile-an-hour speed differential between all three pitches allows him to pitch front to back, which means fast and slow, allows him to pitch high to low. But it's interesting to see those numbers. And him as well, 7-foot extension, very impressive for not as tall a guy, 6'1". That's where I think the Lincecum comparison makes a little bit of sense. You know, stealing extra extension despite your relatively smaller frame for a big league pitcher. We don't have arm angle data on him either. I am curious about his active spin and stuff. So 98th percentile active spin on the four-seam fastball. That makes sense. That's how he's able to create so much lift, because he's achieving perfect backspin. So he's transferring his energy beautifully through the ball very evenly. And then the changeup also 99% active spin. So even though it's so much less spin, at least it has a similar effect out of the hand in terms of how he comes through it. Curveball, 81%, also outstanding. You want to kick that number up as high as you can to go 12-6. So he's got a good spin talent for north-south game. I know they're going to probably try to work in this slider type pitch more often. He only threw one of them yesterday. It's basically an average pitch. But we'll see. So I wanted to revisit those. It was cool to see their movement breakdown finally come up. All right, so now we want to go back and look at this Yankee game. Sure. In the 7th? Yeah, 7th, okay. Yankees and Red Sox. No, Yankees and White Sox, sorry. The other Sox. So Williams gave up a run on a double and a single. That's happening right now. Oh, now we can watch. So Schlittler ends up pitching 6 good innings. He's become really good, really fast. I'm curious to look at his heat maps tonight too and see if he utilized that carbon copy approach that he used against Tampa.
As he stares down this 2-2 pitch. Drills this one to deep right center field. Back it goes, and it is gone.
105.8 to right center. The pitch was pretty high. This pitch was up and away.
Stares down this 2-2 pitch.
Kaboom. Great swing. All right, so let's see. Williams gets clipped on double. We don't have it, but here it is. It's a fastball. So it goes fastball. Probably right down the line. We see the high home. Yeah, good placement, I guess. Right down the line. That's the type of year it's been for Devin. Then he gets a strikeout of Baldwin. High fastball, and then Chase. How do you say this guy's name? Meadroth? Meadroth? Damn. Then he does punch out Talkman. Wow, 12 pitch at bat. What'd I say? Talkman's annoying up there. Then he gets a 1 pitch out of Teal. Surprised this hasn't populated yet. This inning's over. 82-1, so it doesn't clip him. So this game is ongoing. Is that true in the chat? Red Sox extend Aroldis Chapman? Yeah, sure enough. So he also gets a vesting option for 2027. This makes sense. I mean, he's had such an incredible year. Just incredible. So I'm not seeing player off option yet. It looks like it's mutual or vesting. So if he's healthy next year, he probably vests, so he'll be there for. I mean, he's definitely comfortable there. I noticed it in spring training this year. Really, he was in a great place. He was in a great place during spring training this year. I don't know. Maybe Louis Tiant. Got some Cuban players on the Sox going back generations. The Red Sox are a very, very popular team in Latin America as well, particularly in Dominican, because Ortiz, Pedro, but they have a lot of Latino roots with a lot of dudes. Like trying to get my Apple Pencil to charge here. Are you charging, sir? Oh yeah, it's charging. So yeah, Red Sox extend Chapman. That's crazy. Oh, Matty B's still playing. All right. What else we got? Oh, I'd love to see how Milwaukee won this game against Toronto. Milwaukee's beaten Toronto both of these games, huh? First two of this series. Milwaukee, Toronto. Homer. Wow. Jackson Churio. Slider off Hoffman. Wow, take some Oppo.
Right field. Springer going back at the wall.
Damn, 100-mile-an-hour homer Oppo. Must have had good backspin. I wish they would release the data. Release the spin data off the bat. I'd love to know. And then he gives a first pitch dinger to Yelly. Both Oppo. You dirty dog. Just a great swing. Who's better at hitting freaking low liner Oppo homers than Christian Yelich? Yeah, I get it. That did not feel good. Man, what a freaking swing, dude. He sinks. He does this thing where he sinks. But I feel like this is like a really good loading mechanism for him. And then look at this finish. Like, this is like almost like one of those golf finishes where you're down and then you're kind of like, wow, he hops. There's a hop in there. What a player. Ground out, walk, ground out, double, strikeout. Okay, so that's how they lose. I want to see what happened in yesterday's game, though. Bieber was rolling, I think. So wait. Milwaukee, Toronto again. I really think Bieber. So here's the sixth inning. He was good through 5, and then we got Monasterio clips him for a homer on a slider, 3-2 slider. Yeah, that's a hanger.
Well, deep left field. And it's
And Bryce Terang gets him on a single.
hit sharply and past a dive.
Okay. So it's really just two hits there at the end that ends up costing him the 2 runs.
And a fly ball to left field.
Pops out Contreras, and then Luke Little comes in, walks, single. This is going to cash in Shane's other run.
3-2. And a base hit into left field.
I do feel like on the turf sometimes the ball just gets through super fast. But I guess every turf is a little different. Like our turf at Northeastern was slow, I felt like, in college. All right, what do we got in the chat? We got anything? Anything else we need to look at? He didn't even try fielding the ball up the middle, hoping he thought Volpe could reach it. I think he's talking about Devin Williams again. Let's go look. Yankees, White Sox. Yeah, he's talking about this play.
That Hagen-Smith line, that is huge. To see him healthy, back on track. As my drop.
Yeah, he definitely just wasn't ready to field. I feel like he could have reached out and had a shot at this, but he didn't even. I don't know. Not to say I would have tried either. It's kind of past him pretty quick, though. 94-3. I mean, it's coming back at you pretty quick. Hard to say. What's the app you're looking at to look at all these pitches? Yeah, it's the Dugout app. I think Mitch answered that earlier. This is the same app that you see the players on, in the dugout or in the bullpen. This is what I always used to use during the game. Just kicking around different games, seeing what's up. Downloading information. Detroit and Kansas City 1-1 in the 8th. St. Louis is winning in the 9th. What else happened already? Dodgers just started. Tampa, who cares? Pittsburgh, Philly. We saw that. Cubs and Rock Show. Any homers? Yankees are still tied. San Diego. Yeah, Chapman's been so good. You're right. Machado 2 for 4, Sheets 2 for 4, Diaz 2 for 4. They still don't hit homers. It's crazy. 2 homers for Elias Diaz. Buxton's got 1. Taj Bradley pitched this game for the Twins. He's an interesting piece. I'm surprised the Rays traded him. I know they got Jax, but Taj Bradley looked really freaking good last year at times in 2024. Really freaking good. But this Padre bullpen is silly. Morihone and Adam pitching 6th and 7th innings. These guys are gross. All right. Should we watch the Elias Diaz home runs? Sure. San Diego and Minnesota. First pitch off Taj. Fastball.
And Diaz with a
Jeez,
blast to
middle.
left field.
Destroyed.
And just like that, this game is tied.
That was clean. And then off former teammate Brooks Kriske.
Again,
He loves the ball middle down. That's his swing right there. That's his natural swing. Straight Cole Johnson to left for homers. 107 and 100. All right, nothing really there. Never trust Tampa Bay shopping you a pitcher. Very true. Very true. We've learned from that over the years. Be careful with them. Be careful trading with that team. DJ LeMahieu, any interest in dinner tomorrow night? Red, if you're watching. Are we free? I don't think so. We have no babysitter. Guess we'll figure that one out. Cubs, Rockies. Who's McCade Brown? Gavin Williams, Julio Rodriguez looks like he might have homered. Yeah, he did. Andrew Abbott. Michael McGreevy. Baltimore do anything fun? Mountcastle hit a far home run, it looks like. Jackson Holiday. Who's this? Orioles and Giants. So the Giants are finally going to lose. They've been winning. They've been winning lately. Baltimore Orioles, San Francisco Gigantes. Oh, we got a Jeremiah Jackson home
the
run.
way it's configured, tough right field.
Here's a drive out to deep left center field off the bat of Johnson.
Damn, that's pretty deep to get out in San Fran. I guess day game. And Mountcastle. I think this ball's crushed.
Mountcastle to center
baby.
field and deep. Back goes
110.
Lee. He's looking up and
Onto
that's
that
gone
netting.
too.
That damn netting.
A two-run shot. Ryan
Seen enough
Mountcastle,
balls
his fifth
land
of
on
the
that
year.
damn netting. Buster Posey.
Two-run.
Who else? Basayo, first career homer. We've been waiting on this one. Oh, to the Oppo Field in San Fran. 103 to the Oppo Field. Oh, man, it was in the glove. It was in the guante.
Another home run, the third of the day for the Orioles.
It was in the guante.
Not sure. He checks with the second base umpire, Ramon DeJesus.
Yeah, they're looking at Helio Ramos like, Poppy, you know catch?
Swing to the first pitch. Guys, one to deep left field. Back goes Ramos. At the wall, he leaps and can't catch it. It's gone.
And then it was a triple. So this goes triples alley. Jackson Holiday.
Get to their peak.
Jackson Holiday.
Oh, man, that ball was crushed. 106. That's a home run anywhere else. If the center fielder doesn't do their job here, that's a home run.
Trying to score from first is Johnson. He will throw to third is late. And the triple out to right center field drives in another Orioles run. They lead it 6-1.
What else we got? Daniel Johnson. Ground rule double to right center. How's that possible? Oh my God, we can't even see this ball. We got to go to high home. Look how brutal the shadow is here. Dude, that ball went far as hell too. Only 98 though. Weak stuff. Oh, and Rogers. This guy's been shoving all year long. I don't think a lot of people realize how good Trevor Rogers has been for the Orioles. He does get clipped here by Willie Adames. I'm going to talk about a Scoopy swing. Willie.
To deep left field, sending Johnson
2.1. Got the juice balls in San Fran tonight. Special club bar and Oracle, $2,500 a year. Oh, was that spot out by the bullpen? There's a bowling alley. People were actually really nice out there. It's funny because when the warm up, when the bullpens were down the lines and we used to have to sit in the dugout. Yes, to the dugout. I mean, near the dugout. I felt like we got heckled really good at San Fran. That's why I give them the credit as probably the best heckling city. Them and I mean the Phillies. Obviously, they think they're so mean. Oh, they think they're so mean, but it just doesn't hurt anybody's feelings. So it's kind of funny. I don't know. Maybe some young guys get intimidated, but I kind of loved it. I kind of loved getting like triple birded, during the playoffs by Phillies fans. It's just like, okay. In San Fran, they like clever. They come up with fun stuff. They've got me laughing before at myself. So credit to those guys. But yeah, the new spot out there, the people have been pretty nice, honestly, the last few years. I just don't like it. I liked being in the dugout. I like the rally cigarettes down by the tunnel with some of the Rockies guys. Rally cigs. I loved, getting the call and running out, and then the people getting excited to heckle you. Ooh, he's coming out. Which guy is this? Oh, number 0. What a loser. I don't know. I love all that stuff. So I kind of miss it. The bullpen and center, I mean, of course it makes sense to have a bullpen, but I kind of miss that. Yeah, so Trevor Rogers, another 7 innings. Let's see what he's at because he's been freaking awesome this year for the Orioles. Expected ERA 3.03. Expected batting average 230. Somehow he's doing it with a second percentile hard hit rate. But he's been shoving. 1.41 through 14 starts. That's coming into tonight. And tonight he went 7 innings again. So he's about to hit 100 innings and be in like the mid-ones in ERA. 4-seam changeup, sinker, slider. Interesting. The mix, these 3 pitches is, this is a three-way tunnel. Over here on the left, the 4-seam, the sinker, and then the changeup. You know, I think versus righties, you're going to see a lot of 4-seam changeup with occasional sneaky sinkers, and versus the lefties, it's going to be probably all 3. And then the slider's like a bullet, but it's a pretty good one. Curious actually what his right-left stuff is. Okay, so first righties, 4-seam changeup, and then sinker is like the sneak attack. That's what I would have thought. See if that's higher versus lefties. Yeah. Then it kind of flips. 4-seam and sinker, and then slider, and then changeups further down. So that makes sense. Just smart pitching. Just smart pitching. Understanding what plays versus each side and how to execute that. I know, Brett. WBC. All right. Are these games over yet? Yankees and White Sox still tied. Cardinals won this game against the Reds. It's a tough loss for the Reds. I think the Reds might be cooked. I thought they had a good shot not that long ago, but they just keep losing and losing and losing. Did the bullpen coach and catcher just stay in the dugout when the bullpens were in foul territory? Yeah, I think they were mostly down by the batting cage. Because there was like, they have a really big batting cage down there, down the steps. Like when you're in the giant dugout, there's like a big double staircase. And then there's like the cage, like the whole opens up to a whole room back there with 2 nets, 2 cages, maybe even 3, but I think it's 2 extra wide. And then there's like couches all along the wall there, so everybody would be sitting there. And then there's a couple of like really hard walls where guys would throw plyos in there. Then a little bit further down the hallway is like a grounds crew area with a lot of rakes and like sticks and bags of, diamond dry. So that's where the rally cigarettes would happen usually. Or guys would go in there to kind of like clear their mind and get away from the other people. But then you're constantly like kind of walking up those double staircases and like kind of peeking out, seeing what's going on. Early in the game, you might actually go out there and, sit on the railing because you never get to do that. I used to love doing that because as a reliever, you never get to do that. So I used to love being on the railing like in the first 2 or 3 innings, watching us face like Matt Cain or Bumgarner or Zito or Lincecum. I always thought that was dope. Mad Bum. These guys used to shove on us all the time, but I always thought that was really fun. And then just like the adrenaline of being with all the boys, like you're giving high fives on home runs and your team scoring runs. You just don't get to do that in the bullpen. So it was a nice treat to do that once a year, a couple times a year, when I was in that division. Okay, Adam, what's the software you use to break down film? It's not available to the public. It is called Dugout. You can see it right here. It's the Dugout app. This is an MLB app. It's what the players use in the dugout and in the bullpen to review their at-bats. The video rooms are now closed ever since the cheating scandal, so it's these iPads now. Now, teams will often load a whole bunch of stuff onto these, like scouting information, whatever. But I just have the games. All I wanted was access to the game feed so I could do this show, basically. And I feel like I have all the games at my fingertips. I have Mission Control here. So I get to follow the game in the way I like to follow it, which is like I like to look at things and actually get the context behind them and not just watch highlights and, read what people think, I guess. Not available to the public, though. Maybe someday, but not right now. So Rogers, another 7 innings. He's been great. Joel Peguero. Yeah, we have dark mode. What do you think about that? I never usually use it, but the dark mode is on the Dugout app, yes. So, okay, what game? I'll probably wrap it up soon because we're just kind of putzing around here, but Ooh, Angels took the lead on Houston in the 9th, so we'll go to that game and see. Angels, Houston. Oh, you like this way more. Oh my God, Craig Kimbrell alert. You want to talk about a low upshoot. Anyway, here's how the runs were scored. They scored them off Abreu. Rengifo single. Oh, it just happened. I can't see it on broadcast cam. So there's the single, little inside out job. Then Ohapi. Ground ball through the 6-hole. Matthew Lugo. Oppo, no man's land. This is how the runs score. 4 crazy singles in a row. Then 97.5. Where's the high home on this? Is this just perfect placement or what? Oh, right fielder kind of zoos it. Who's that, Cam Smith? And it's a long single that now nobody... Oh my God, so much happened on this play? Huh. Dark mode for sure. All right, we're in. You got it. Should I do dark mode all the time, even in mornings? What's the feedback on that? All right, so look, this ball's hit. Everybody's tagging. Even this guy on first is tagging. Right? They got triple taggers. Tag, this guy's tagging, this guy's tagging. Ball gets not caught, so everybody has to run. Poor hitter who hits this ball, because he's right here, he can't go anywhere, so he has to stay at first. So he's just standing right here. Everybody's wheeling around. The throw comes in to the cutoff man and kind of makes him jump for it. It's this dude right here. And then he goes home because they should have just thrown home. They didn't line up to home, but now he's got a reasonable shot at home, but he doesn't get it, not able to set his feet. Throws it. Guy slides in. Safe. But now because of that, look, there's nobody at second base. Center fielders sees it now, and he's like, oh, I'm going to get there, but he can't get there in time. Second baseman literally watched this entire play. This is Altuve, I guess. Just what? Is this Tuve? Just watch Jose. I believe this is. It's got to be Altuve. He doesn't play the outfield anymore, right? They put him back at second. They ended that. Come on. This guy right here. Watch him. All right, I'm just gonna leave it on dark mode then. Sorry about that. I've been blowing people's eyes up for weeks. I didn't even know. So yeah, so crazy play there. That loses the game. That weird play. But let's watch Craig Kimbrell, because Craig Kimbrell's back in the big leagues, folks. 92-1, not what you're used to seeing. But this is a perfect example. This is the OG example of the upshoot fastball. And I don't know what his vert was in his heyday with the Braves when he was throwing 99, but 13.7. It's like Edwin. It's not really an impressive number, but he throws from like 5-foot extension, so he's even lower, and that ball upshoots crazy. And that's kind of the special quality that he brings to the table, paired with a very hard breaking ball. This pitch used to be like 88. Now it's 83, so it's a very different Craig Kimbrell. But the short stature and the two-pitch, nastiness can still play because he has such extreme angle going up. So Craig Kimbrell's the OG example of that upshoot, vertical approach angle type fastball. All right. Do I need dark mode on this too? Is there a way to dark mode my iPad? Now I'm like totally domed up about dark mode. Ooh, dark mode on. Oh, that didn't really do anything. All right. Any other games just end, or we're going to wrap it up? So White Sox, Yankees are in the 9th. I don't have enough in me to stream for that much longer. Who knows how long that goes. Cleveland now only 2 ahead of Seattle. Maybe Seattle just did something. Cleveland and Seattle. It's also going to be interesting because we've watched a lot of games in progress tonight. It's going to be interesting if this gets flagged and, you know, taken off. So Julio homered here. This is what got them within 1.
Wow.
Dude, up and in. Up and in. Also, Hunter Gaddis only throwing 92 now. 92.7.
Julio Rodriguez
97
with
last
an
year.
absolute tee shot with
Up
2
in
outs the
108.
8th.
Good swing, man. How do you get your hands here?
Wow. This ball is clubbed out to the bleachers in left field
Damn.
and gone.
Oh, swing.
Julio.
Oh, sorry, I want the first base. He's got such a good swing, man. He really does. He's so good. But it looks like they just lost it. Cade Smith, 3 punchies in the 9th.
After that, that is right down the middle.
Doors up top. They're all going to be fastballs, by the way. Oh, freeze down low. 4-seam freeze at the bottom. Shocking. Luke Raley. Oh, 4-seam. Doors. I mean, that's his game. 4-seam up all day long, Cade Smith. All right, so Cleveland wins that. Where are we these days? I haven't really even checked the standings in like a day or two. So let's see. So if the Yankees win tonight, they're getting very close to Toronto all of a sudden. This could be their 7th win in a row if they win this game tonight. Interesting. Detroit doing fine. Seattle 3 behind Houston. Although it looks like Houston just lost that game. Jack Bartoli, yo. What's up, Jack? You're coming in pretty late if you just got here. I think I'm probably ending it here in a minute. Philly, 6 up on the Metros. Metros back-to-back losses to the Marlins. Milwaukee, 7 up. Dodgers still 2 up. What I really wanted to see was how far back are these wildcard teams? KC 3 back, Texas 3.5 back. National League, Cincy 5 back. Mets are in a good spot. They're in a good spot despite not playing well at the moment. There's no team that's going to emerge from this slop. Cardinals do have the weak schedule. They're kind of the team that I pegged on actually this right here, Baseball Isn't Boring podcast with my guy, Rob Bradford, a couple weeks ago. I said the Cardinals have the weak schedule. So if you're going to do some Chris Russo schedule watching, that would be the team. Yankees, White Sox going to extras. Bednar got out of a jam. Fly out double. And then he gets Talkman out. Mr. Talkman with a split. Yeah, I got him to chop it out. Good pitch. Yeah, Giants too. But I haven't seen their schedule. Not that I think it matters. I think you have to play good. Don't they know I got to take Dan Payne to the wine bar? Yankees do need to win. Extra innings, though, favors the road team since inception of this rule, barely. I don't think it's the case this year. I actually think the home team has won more often in 2025. But who's going to be pitching for the White Sox here? Whoops. Is it still going to be Leisure? Who have the Yankees burned through in this game? Schlittler, Williams, Weaver, Bednar. Ice chewing. Sorry. All right, well, while we wait for this, let's go do the probables for tomorrow's games. Palante Singer is your 12:10 a.m. game in probably hot Cincinnati, I'm guessing. Joe Ryan and TBA. I love watching Joe Ryan pitch. I'm actually more of a fan of his after watching him live in the game I went to. He was a vibe. Keller and Giolito. The Red Sox need to win this game. They can't get swept by the Pirates at home. So they're going to send Gio out there. He's been very good. Mitch Keller, good pitcher, though. Ian Seymour, Brad Lord, Rays Nats, Woodruff, and Scherzer. This is a great game. Blue Jays need to win. It's getting a little close again. Yankees are getting right there, sniffing on him a little bit. Woodruff, this guy's been nothing short of awesome since he's come back from injury. Taylor in for the White Sox, okay. Bryce Miller, Tanner Bybee. See, it's just tough to win in Cleveland, man. It really is. And then Sandy, Mets get Sandy to try to avoid the sweep with Senga, who has not looked good lately. So maybe that can flip tomorrow. But I told you these fish are feisty. These Marlins are feisty. Soriano, Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown's very good. That's a big reason why Houston's in first place. Hunter Brown's very good this year. Skubal, Waka. Feel like Skubal destroys the Royals. So I'm expecting that to stay. Oh no, bad contact play by Wells. Thrown out at home. Oh, they're going to not score. I'm going to have to watch that in a second. Luis Gil, Martin Perez. I expect the Yankees to put up some runs tomorrow against Martin. He's going to have to be basically perfect. The Yankees have such a good roster to face him. As good as he is, as crafty as he is, the Yankees lineup is like very good to face that. Boyd, Tanner Gordon from Coors. Sugano, Verlander from the Bay. And then Jagram's back, making his second start in Sacramento this year. So let's see how that goes. Fott and Yamamoto. Waldrop, Luzardo. All right, let's go to the game. Should be, it's this game. So Volpe bunts. Again, I'm not going to have the broadcast camera here. So there's the bunt. We'll see what happened on the high home. Good bunt. That's what you're taught to do. Bunt at the third. Nobody can cover third. And he does the job. So nice job there. And then we have McMahon. This is also on the first pitch. So first, let's watch it from here. Chopper to second. Completely dead. Not even close. Not even close. Playback. That's something that we're hoping to work on pretty soon. But let's look at the high home. Chopper. Just a dead duck. He's not fast enough for the contact play. He also doesn't get great anticipation here. He's in the air while this ball's hit, so by the time he starts running, the ball's halfway to the fielder already. That stinks. Good job for the White Sox. Is Wells really bad on the bases? That sucks. This guy, the Yankees might drop this one. I know he's not fast. Base running value below average, obviously, because he's not fast. 26th percentile in sprint speed. That's not great. He has been great in framing. I don't know. When I watch him hit, I feel like he has the potential, but he's hitting 209. This was his 19th or 18th or 19th home run tonight. But yeah, the base running, that wasn't great. He's just not a fast guy, so it's tough to have the contact play on with not a fast guy. And McMahon, you know, you got to get the ball in the air there a little bit. Nothing yet. Trying to reload it. Nothing yet. Okay. Let me see this double that Bednar gave up.
Grant Taylor ready to go in the pen.
My drop down the line in left field. Will it stay fair?
Oh,
Yes, it
dunks it down the
will.
line off the end. And then he gets Talkman out. I want to watch the whole at bat with Talkman because he's a tough out in this spot.
Big
Fastball up. He took a big hack. Interesting that he took the big hack there.
11th.
And then split. So up.
Ground
Just
to
a
the
really
right
good
side
executed
is
split
Chisholm
down.
Jr.
Ball's a strike for a while. Good pitch. All right, wait. Back to here. He walked somebody? He walked Caballero. So now it's first and second with 2 outs. So who's coming up? Stanton? Maybe Stanton's already been burned. He's not going to come in. So is it Dominguez or Grisham? This is one thing about this app. You can't watch live. You can't watch live. It has to have already happened. So we'll wait to see how this goes, and then I'll probably call it. Yeah, so Grisham's up. Okay, what's Grisham on the day? 0 for 3, strikeout, ground out, walk, fly out. It says sharply. What's sharply mean?
To do that, you got to retire the first 2.
105. Just
Grisham
top spin,
to center
105.
field.
His last at bat. So good at bat, last at bat. This has been a long one tonight. Can't wait till we get Mitch over on playback. True. Oh, man. Somebody let me know when something happens. I wanna hold you just for a while. Come on. I can actually go and look at it on my computer live. On my MLB.tv. And I can't show what's happening, but I can watch it on my end. Oh, to count. Oh, I love it. Ryan Rucco on the broadcast tonight. Oh, nasty pitch struck him out. That was filthy. I bet that had a lot of negative vert. It's about to pop up any second. I'm gonna guess. We're gonna play a game. We'll guess the vertical break on the last breaking ball. I'm gonna guess. It's a pretty hard pitch, so -5. -5. It was, oh wow, -13.5 on an 87 mile an hour curveball. Are you kidding me? Where do they find? Where do they make? Where do they get these pitches from? -13.5 at 87. Excuse you. Yeah, I knew it looked hard. All right, Bednar coming out for the 10th. It's also 10 o'clock here, which means that's it for me, folks. All right, good hanging. This was a long, interesting, eclectic stream. I don't even know really what we covered, but we covered some stuff. It's hour 23 in. I don't know whether it's going to be day or night tomorrow. I think once the kids get back to school, we're going to do mostly days still, mostly, baseball and coffee. But I need to come up with a different name for some of these alternate streams that aren't in the morning, because I'm not drinking a coffee right now, so it seems a little wrong. But I want to stream every day no matter what. So also, any ideas for standalone videos, please fire them at me in the comments on my YouTube channel or really wherever. I'm mostly looking to watch guys who are playing great baseball. So, day tomorrow, my wife says. Okay. Day tomorrow. Probably during my kid's nap. But anyway, thanks for hanging. Peace out. Hasta.